Today's episode is brought to you by Mazars. SoundCartel. From SoundCartel, I'm Nicole Goodman, and this is Business Essentials Daily. In her 20s, Olivia Carr was struggling to make ends meet. She was a young mum with a huge personal debt, racked up by multiple unpaid CityLink toll fines. We're talking north of $100,000, and an appearance at the Melbourne Magistrates Court. Facing the choice of either jail time or a payback plan, she not only paid off the debt, but completely turned her life around. Since then, Olivia founded Shhh Silk, a multi-million-dollar online marketplace for silk pillowcases and other luxury silk desires. She discusses it all in her book, Self-Made, Build a Big Life from a Small Business. Chris Ashmore begins by asking Olivia what the huge debt taught her when she started to run her own business.
What it taught me is that you just have to take ownership of your problems, whether it is financial or other things. Like ignoring things only will ever make the problem grow and get worse. So I guess I've tried to really carry that. I mean, we're all in a bit of a tricky financial situation at the moment with the economy. But my biggest thing is if you've got bills coming in the door and you're feeling a bit overwhelmed, just don't ignore them. Like get on the phone, ask for help, reach out to people, just don't ignore it.
Well, let's have a look at your business. What was the idea behind Silk?
So it was really just, I needed a silk pillowcase for myself and I wanted one with a zip, and I felt like the Kardashians slept on silk, and I was like, I don't have a marketing budget, but if I can make something I love, I bet they'll love it. I'll give myself 6 months to make it work. And there's a crazy story on the internet about how I flew to their house to hand deliver them, which is true. And then their PA reached out, and I've actually had a direct relationship now with the family since 2016. So we still do a lot of custom stuff for them today.
How did you find the house and the doormat of Kim Kardashian?
Yeah, so Kim was living at her mum's house at that time. And the unfortunate thing about celebrities is the more famous you are, the easier it is to find an address online, whether that's through, I don't know, what house they've purchased or like some big, architectural digest thing that they've just had done, or it can often be business, what businesses they run and the addresses for the businesses. I was actually planning to turn up to their work residence. I just didn't realise that their work address was their home address.
Fantastic. And why the name?
Why the name? So it had two meanings. So obviously, shh is nice, quiet, sleep. But the second meaning was we've always done good. So from day one, we used to pay for orphans and all of their school supplies for a year. And we used to put a little card in the package saying, shh, we've got a secret to share with you. We've just done this and it's through your generous help. And yeah, that was the play on words.
Fantastic. Now, tell me about the product. Who makes them?
So majority of the world's silk is still grown in China. It's a very natural product. So we design everything in-house here. Everything we do with like hotels around the world is all custom, and then we get the product made in China and we ship from our head office in Melbourne.
Any issues with supply during COVID?
We were really fortunate. So I had just stocked our warehouse full of product at the very beginning of COVID. So we obviously had a huge amount of product. But I would say that probably around the 2021 period, it got really tricky, especially when things were getting quite bad with all the lockdowns in China. It did make things very challenging. But I think customers as a whole were pretty understanding. I think the hardest thing, to be honest, was the freight times. Like customers locally might have been waiting during periods for up to 3 weeks here in Australia, but then up to 3 months overseas. So it was a challenging time.
But customers, they were waiting for everything that they ordered. So it probably didn't matter so much.
Yeah, that's right.
Who is your typical customer?
Usually it's females anywhere between the age of 25 to 45, anyone that probably goes out and gets a blow dry and wants to kind of prolong her hair, or anyone that's interested or cares about skincare. Yeah, a very female-focused audience.
Now, can you tell me about your holiday at the Beverly Hills Hotel?
Yeah, so 2016, took my children on a holiday to the Beverly Hills Hotel. At that stage, we were just doing silk pillowcases. And I was sitting by the pool with my kids and I was like, you know what? It would be so amazing to see these beautiful palm tree prints on a silk robe. Silk is beautiful when you apply colour to it. And I was like, wow, that would be really cool. I went inside to the store. They have this amazing retail footprint in the hotel. And I asked if I could speak to the manager. And of course, they were very well trained and told me she wasn't there for the weekend. So I went back out to my kids and I was like, oh, that's so annoying because we were leaving on the Monday. And I was like, I really just would love to chat with them. And then we were walking back into the hotel with my kids maybe about 20 minutes later. And I saw this lady standing kind of through the doorway. And I was like, that's the lady, that's Christy. And the kids are like, well, Mum, like they said she's not here. Now, I'd never met her. I didn't know what she looked like. I just had this unbelievable weird feeling. And I walk up to the door and she opens the door and I said, hi, are you Christy? And she's thinking I'm a guest because I was a guest. And she said, yes, ma'am. Like, how can I help you? And I was like, right, you need to stay right there. And I ran to my room. I got some products and I came back and I left my kids there. And she's probably thinking, what is going on? And I came back and I said, I would love you to try our product. All I'm asking is if you sleep on it tonight and if you have an amazing sleep, could we please meet tomorrow? And sure enough, the next morning, she agreed to meet and we met in the lobby for an hour and we talked about life and my story and my background and my vision and why I was doing what I was doing. And we just connected and she agreed and said, let's build it out. Let's do kids. Let's do men's. We've now done 3 different collaborations. We've worked with them for 6 years and that was the start of our hotel business, which is the largest part of what we do.
That's incredible. And what does that say then, perhaps being able to spot an opportunity, but not only that, having the courage to follow through with it to get business?
Yeah, I mean, I do think that one of the beautiful parts about that is I was having some downtime. And I do say to founders that I work with, it's so important to take time away from your business. Like everyone talks about that. You need to, work on your business, not in your business. And it can be really hard when you're in the day-to-day. But I think often you can't actually even spot the opportunity whilst you're busy in it. So it is really, the first thing I would say is step away so that you can spot the opportunity. But then also putting yourself in places regularly where opportunity might come to you. Like I'm in Byron and I'm about to go to a really cool meeting after this call actually that I didn't know was happening 3 days ago. But literally I was sitting out by the pool and I was like, oh my God, I have an idea. Again, something to do with the Kardashians and my book. And I'm now connecting with a big brand up here in about an hour's time to do something very cool together. Now, that's just because I put myself in situations regularly where I can allow some creative thinking to come through. And I think you need to schedule time for that regularly.
Absolutely. Now, you've mentioned the Kardashians, and for your business, you're a big believer in harnessing the power of public relations. Do you have a strategy? How do you do it?
I do think that always start big. So if there's someone in your mind that you want to work with, whether it's a company or a person, go big. Like the bigger you can go, the better. Because if you fall short from that, it will still be an amazing kind of opportunity. But then how do you get into someone that big? You have a look at their circle of influence, and often the people around them are not famous and they're a lot easier to get close to. So I would say, I don't know, you want to go for David Beckham. Who's David Beckham? Who cuts his hair? Who styles him? Who's his manager? And start seeding products and doing amazing things for all the people around him, because that's his inner circle and that's his world. So if he starts to see or hear your product mentioned in his inner circle, to him it feels like you're everywhere because you're in his space. And that's essentially a very short version of a very easy strategy I would give to someone that's wanting to start doing some cool stuff in the PR space with celebrities.
Now, before we go, you've had incredible success, terrific story. What would you say are the key attributes to being a successful business owner?
The question I always say to people is, what's one thing you can do today that you know you should be doing but you're not doing? And I think we can all answer that. Like it's, classic procrastination, lack of self-belief, whatever it is that's stopping you from doing it. It's waking up every single day and saying, what is that one thing that I need to do today, that I know I need to do today to drive my business forward, that I'm just avoiding and that I'm not doing? And often they can be the hard calls, the sales calls, whatever it is. Just aim for that one thing every single day and the momentum will build, because it's tough. Like you would know, doing things on your own, it's really, really tough, and you just have to commit to daily action.
That was Olivia Carr, founder of Shhh Silk. This episode of Business Essentials Daily is produced by the team at SoundCartel. Thanks for listening. I'm Nicole Goodman. We'll bring you more Be Daily tomorrow. Follow @BE Daily Podcast across social media and head to bedaily.com.au for more from the Business Essentials Daily podcast. SoundCartel. This episode was brought to you by Mazars. To find out more, visit mazars.com.au. That's mazars.com.au.